everyone. Welcome back to Sunset Wildlife Connections YouTube vlog channel. My name is Margaret, and if this is your first time tuning in, hello and welcome. I am the president, the co-founder, and the lead wildlife specialist right here at Sunset Wildlife Connection. For this video, I just have the chickens behind me just for fun. It's a better background than my desk. But I'm gonna actually talk to you a little bit about animal training today. So I am gonna have some training demonstrations in here, but to start today, I mostly just wanna go over like terminology. I actually ran my first animal training workshop in the beginning of November 2023. So I am gonna show you some clips from that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of do like the basics. I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about some basic animal training terminology, and this is going to go all the way from just your basic animal like dog, cat, all the way to exotics. So everything from the different types of exotics that we work with. I tell people that these are trained snakes. These are trained tarantulas, and people are like, what? Because most of the time people will think animal training, well, that means that I train my dog to sit, which yes, that is animal training. But we are constantly training animals. Here in the zoo field, if the animals see us holding a metal bowl, like for example, Michael J, our red fox, he knows what time it is. He knows that we're coming to him. He knows what I grab, what time of day that I grab it sometimes. He can see the keys on my neck. So that is even a form of animal training. Our chickens behind me are trained actually, which is, again, people are like, that's crazy, how'd you train a chicken? It's the same concept. It is the same thing as if you were gonna train your dog or cat at home. You guys are actually gonna get to watch a training session with Jack, our Geoffroy's cat. So that's gonna be really cool. I'm gonna actually have our interns do a lot of the training demonstrations. And then I'll talk to you a little bit, I'll do some voiceover on what I saw, what I think that they could improve on. Now, I did train the basis of most of the animals that you are gonna see, and it's just my interns maintaining the behaviors. But I actually am gonna show you one of our interns worked with one of our parrots and doing targets with him, and she started that. So let's get started. Okay, so first, let's talk a little bit about animal training. What is animal training, right? So animal training is a type of learning. It's the same thing as any kind of learning like children. We technically train children too. It's just a type of learning. So learning, it means that we are changing. There's a change in the behavior due to an experience. That's what learning is. Training means that human management learning. So we as humans are helping the animals learn, and we're helping them learn something, and we're doing that through animal training. Now, I already talked a little bit about how every interaction is animal training. So always remember that if you're training your own personal dogs and cats, that everything you do, if you even like with my dogs, if I open up our pantry where their food is, they are like, oh my gosh, is it food time? That's still a form of training. So there are two types of training. There is operant conditioning, and then there is classic conditioning. I'm actually going to start with classic. Classic conditioning is the animal learning the behavior involuntarily. So if you guys have ever studied behavior at all, they usually will start to talk about Pavlov's dogs. So Pavlov was somebody, he was a scientist. Be careful if you look it up. You can look it up and just go basic though, because he was not the most humane animal trainer in the whole world. So please keep that in mind. Don't do tons and tons of research if animal abuse affects you, or obviously it makes me really upset. So just be careful if you're going to research it. I'm going to just tell you the basics of what he did and what we learned from his study. So what he did is he had a dog, and he would ring a bell, and then he would give that dog a treat or like feed the dog every time he rang the bell. Then he would ring the bell, and the dog would then start to salivate, like no matter what. There's actually a clip in the office. I'll see if I can find it and put it in this video of, it's Jim, who is operant or classic conditioning Dwight. It's a pretty funny little like snippet. I'm gonna see if I can find it for you. found out that I can't post the clip due to copyright issues, so I put a link in the description instead. So head over there, watch that clip, and then come right back and we'll keep talking about training. Again, so he would ring the bell, the dog would salivate. The dog didn't think about salivating. He just did it it was an involuntary response. But that is the experiment, and it's called Pad Loves Dogs. Operant conditioning is the animal does something, then gets a reward. Behavior is modified by consequences. So a great example of this is actually the bridging stimulus is what it's called, or a bridge. So for example, like a clicker. Now a clicker, you guys will see us using them with our training in the training demonstrations, but it just makes a little chick chick sound. I think I'm just gonna go get one, hang on. That's what this is. It's a clicker, and this is a bridge. So what you're doing is you're pretty much bridging the time that the animal did the correct behavior and when they're gonna get rewarded for it. It's an instant stimulus. So this is what we use to operant condition an animal. So it's not an involuntary behavior. It's something that I'm voluntarily asking them to do. It's something that I'm asking them to voluntarily do, and then they did the right behavior and food is on the way. Now, you don't need the clicker if you can feed immediately. Sometimes I do that with certain behaviors where I actually don't need the clicker. But for most animals, I like to use either a click, or a lot of people will use the word good. You can also use other words. A lot of animal trainers will use something like okay, or they'll say yes. It just depends. Doesn't matter. You could say Oreo and it doesn't matter, as long as your animal knows that that means that is the bridge, and you're bridging that time between when they did the correct behavior and when they're going to get rewarded for it. So I think that's all the terminology we're going to do today. So let's watch some training demos. So first off, we're going to start with Davy Jones and one of our fall 2023 interns, Savannah. Savannah taught Davy how to target. Now, we are doing protected contact for this session. She was also doing unprotected contact and taking Davy Jones out. But you can get two different reactions based on what's going on. You can obviously see our encounter center behind Savannah. There is a lot more going on, a lot more distractions. So we are just using the protected contact as a tool in this session to kind of keep him focused on what we are doing. So you can see she's not only asking for targets, but she is also asking him for a couple other of his behaviors. He whistles, he says his name. She's also putting the target at different spots throughout the enclosure so that he really understands. And Davy can choose whether he wants to fly over there, or if he wants to just walk over, or what he wants to do. He can choose his own path on how to get to the target. Now you can shape this behavior later. If you do want him to fly, you would only reward him for whenever he flew. But that is not the criteria that Savannah has set for him. She just wants him to target onto the stick, and that is pretty much it. Pretty much just asking him wherever she wants him to go. You can also see her doing something called a random reinforcer, meaning that she does not give him the food every time he does the behavior. So she may do it every other time, or every third, sometimes even fourth time. After a while, you can actually get what's called a chain behavior, where you can get the animals to do multiple behaviors, and then they know after doing multiple behaviors that they will get a reward at the very end. And that is what I call a chain behavior. Savannah ends the session after this. She did a great job. Next, we have Becca and one of our sugar gliders. This is Tim. This clip is actually from our animal training workshop. She is teaching him how to station. So the end behavior, we want the sugar glider to station, and then we want them to actually fly or glide to our hands. Stay. So you can see Becca's telling him to stay, and then she's going to give him some food and pay him for staying on the station. In this session, she just worked the station and did not work any of the gliding, just to make sure that they get that foundation down on the station. we did get to the point in this behavior where they would start gliding to her gloved hand. Put it on his hand. Now you can see that Tim is getting a little bit distracted. So what I would have done, would have gone in with the honey, showed him that I still have the food, get him back on track. But again, she did come in pretty quickly after he came off of the station and went to his food immediately, which is great to show him that this is what we want you. We want you to stay here. Then you can see she's getting his attention back, which is great. He kind of found a little bit more honey, still great. And she is gonna pay him again. Now I say pay with the animals. That was what I was taught as a professional animal trainer. And that's why I say pay instead of like feed or give them a treat. It's just an easier way, a faster way to say pay them because they are getting rewarded. So being paid is a form of reward for us, right? For us doing our jobs correctly. Good, Raz. Good seat. Good. Next, we have our 4-year-old macaw, Raz, and she is learning a couple different behaviors. So she is learning a seat, she's learning a perch, she's learning a stay, and a here. So we're just trying to build the foundations of each one of these so that she knows that she needs to stay somewhere. She knows what it means when we call her over by her name and a here, then she will come over to us. Good girl. All right, I'm out of feed.
Raz, here.
Now, in this clip, you can see Michaela actually has her hand in the wrong position. So that's why Raz is confused. You can't see me, but I am behind the camera actually showing her what she should be doing with her arm. And she changes it. And then, boom, Raz knows immediately what she was asking for. So that was actually really good of Raz because she was not only listening to the verbal commands, she was listening to the hand signals, and the hand signal was wrong. So she was actually doing what she was supposed to do. Now, Michaela here is going to do a hard stay and a pay stay. So the pay stay is what she's doing right here, paying her for staying in the position. But the hard stay should mean that you can walk anywhere, you can do anything, and the animal will stay exactly where they were put.
Good girl.
So you can see that Michaela walked around. She then went up and paid her, and Raz stayed until Michaela called her to her hand. That was a great session, though. Overall, great job, Raz and Michaela. So next we have Little Jack, our Geoffroy's cat. He actually knows quite a few behaviors. Jack here knows an up, a sit, a target, a paw behavior.
Paw?
But each animal is just a little bit different. So each animal you're going to react to differently. So you're going to see a big difference between all these animals that you guys have seen so far, even between the sugar gliders and Jack the Geoffroy's cat. You're going to see really high energy behaviors from our fox. So each animal is going to be different that you're training. Cats will train a little bit slower. They're not quite as expressive as dogs, but they are just as smart and they train almost just as easily. I love training cats. It's one of my favorites actually to train is macaws and cats.
Good boy. Up. Target. So sorry. Check. Paw. Good. Piece side. Side.
Now the side behavior is actually what I want to use eventually for the vet so that we can actually just give him vaccines without him doing anything. Now obviously I have to lengthen the time that he is sitting there on the side, but the side behavior itself is done. Reshaping it is not too bad. Look at how cute his little face is.
His little noises. I know. That's good.
Good job. Ready.
Jump. Good. Jump.
Now, like I said a second ago, the fox is much more high energy, so his behaviors are more high energy. So I did start training him that jump that you saw. He was offering me the jump behavior anyways. So I pretty much just captured it, and it's a great way for him to get his pent-up energy out. So again, reading your animal is super important. If you have a high energy dog, teach them a high energy behavior. Don't teach them a sit and a stay immediately until they really understand the concepts. Teaching them a more high energy behavior is going to get them to understand the concept of training and what you're asking of them before you just are trying to get them to hold in that pent up energy.
Jump. Good boy.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot. It exploded everywhere.
Try and see if you can do a double jump where like as soon as he hits, he jumps again.
Like on the ground.
Like as soon as he hits the ground,
Okay.
ask him to jump again.
Ready? Jump.
And again.
Jump. Come on. Jump. Good boy.
So you stay standing when you do it. So ask him to jump, stay standing, and then ask him to jump again. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Ready? Jump. Jump.
Good!
Yay!
Now that is actually a behavior that I learned when I would teach jump rope dogs. So not that I plan to jump rope with him, but just teaching him the concepts, and again, capturing his energy is what's most important.
Fox, target. Good. Target. Good boy. He's getting so tired.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice though, because then you can kind of focus.
Yeah. Hop. Good boy.
I think the jumping is a good
He
get the energy out. Mm-hmm.
He almost got it. I feel like got it once right now.
Mm-hmm. And again, you can end whenever you want to as well, and feed him out.
I might make him jump again.
Now you can hear a lot of my trainers will use that double click. You do not have to double click your animals. I do it. It's kind of some people would say it's a bad habit, but I actually like to do it because sometimes I'll use the single click if they've done the right behavior, but I'm not completely done with that behavior yet. Then I will use the double click before I give them their pay. So they still get some kind of a reward, but then they really know that it's over and they're going to get their treat at that double click. Now, we also, during our animal workshop, we had our participants actually train some of our animals. And this was really fun to kind of see some of the animals get out and work with new people. A lot of these animals have only worked with me and a couple of our interns. But it's actually really important when we're doing animal training that the animals work with other people, because then you really know that you got the foundation correct. Petting me. So you can see everybody's working on different things like targets. Some people did kisses. Some people did spins. It was so cute and honestly a lot of fun to see. Oh, good job, Adrian. She's such a good girl. Then we played the animal training game. I love this game. I actually don't know what the actual name of the game is. I just call it the animal training game. But what you do is you would pick a person, or you can go into like small teams or even just 2-on-2. And one person is your animal, and then the other people have to bridge that person to get them to do what they want. So, for example, for this first one, we all talked about Becca and how Becca was going to go up to the steps. She was going to pick up a white pumpkin and she was going to come over and hand it to me. So, let's check that out. So, I went in and I grabbed Becca after we all talked about it, and kind of getting everybody ready. We all have our clickers in hand. So I pretty much say, go. You can hear all of our clickers. We stopped clicking, started clicking as she got closer to the pumpkins. She picks up one pumpkin, but that wasn't the right one we wanted, but now she kind of knows we're at least looking for pumpkins. She looked over at the white pumpkin and I clicked her. So then she picks up the pumpkin. She's a little unsure of what we're asking of her. But you can see her little wheels are turning. She's thinking, what do you want us to do? And there she goes. She did it. Now for this one, we wanted him to go under our trellis. He was so smart. He did this so quickly that we were like, well, that was really easy. For this next one, we wanted her to actually go around our telephone pole, and we wanted her to go in a circle. So you can kind of see that, you can tell that she's heading over there. You can tell that we're clicking her and that we wanted her to go in the circle. So there it is. Next, we made my husband the animal, and this is literally my favorite. So I'm just gonna kind of let you guys listen and see how it goes. You can see him look over at me, knowing exactly what I am asking of him to juggle. Hey guys, it's a crazy rainy day, so don't mind my outfit, but we have to get some Thankies in. So these are from Howard and Jeannie. We got alfalfa cubes, a couple other treats, some super fun stuff for the sugar gliders and the rats to play with. These are awesome. The animals like tear these up, so let's give them to the animals.
Good dad. Come here. Come here. Come on.
He's just sitting there with it.
Zeus.
Alright guys, well I really hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit about animals and animal training. I hope you liked our workshop. I am working on our 2024 event schedule, so make sure that you guys follow us for that schedule. I am going to be doing another animal training workshop next November in 2024. And make sure you guys like, you comment, you subscribe to our channel. Give me a thumbs up. If you liked this video, I would really appreciate it. Every thumbs up, comment, subscription, everything like that helps our nonprofit and actually helps the algorithm to be able to push out to more people. So the more people that comment, subscribe, like, share, all of that, the more people that we can teach about our amazing animals and what we do here at Sunset Wildlife Connection. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.